This one.
That's it. You got it. You're pro.
How hard you help me. Thank you for joining us. It is 6:01 or 6:02 now, and it is time to call our regular meeting, Tuesday, April 9th, of the Community Redevelopment Agency. Roll call, please.
Mr. Drew Bartlett,
Here.
Miss Leah Furch,
Here.
Miss Donna Kerner,
Here.
Miss Carla Blockson,
Here.
Miss Ann Fairfax.
Here by Zoom.
Please note, Mr. Daniel Morgan and Miss Caroline Shamshi Basha are both not present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start with the rest of our agenda, I'd like a motion to allow Ann Fairfax to join our meeting remotely via Zoom. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved. This is Drew.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And while you'll be able to join us via Zoom, please, we will ask for your comment at the appropriate time next to each action.
Thank
Now,
you.
okay. Are there any additions, deletions, or reordering for tonight's agenda? At this time, we're going to have public comment on non-agended items. If you'd like to public comment on non-agended items, please come up to the dais. None? Thanks. Okay, now we're going to have our presentation from the Wiener Museum of Decorative Arts, update by Renee Miller.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair Blockson. Is it okay if I begin my presentation at this time?
Yes.
Wonderful. Before I begin, I wanted to make sure that everyone can see the presentation in the chambers.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, thank you so much for allowing us to be before you again this month to provide our monthly update on the progress of the WMODA Mixed Use Cultural Arts Campus. As many of you know, last evening we hosted our first virtual community meeting. That meeting was very well attended. I'm proud to say that we had over 62 residents in attendance on that virtual meeting. During last night's discussion, we were able to introduce the community to our full team of professionals, provide a project overview, and again, share with the community our vision for the overall economically sustainable mixed-use cultural arts campus that we hope to bring to downtown Lake Worth Beach. Our architects were on hand to share the site concepts and design considerations that we will be working through over the next couple of weeks. And then we wrapped up our kind of formal portion of the presentation after the first half hour, and had a full 35 or so minutes of questions from the community. One of the main points that we shared with the community during our presentation is our desire to ensure that our project was in context with the historical downtown, and that we were connecting to some of the key destination points that are adjacent to our overall sites. During that conversation, we really talked a lot about, not yet about building placement, but talked about our desire to to bring some concepts like activating the alley and creating nodes and ensuring that our overall building massing was permeable and reinforcing our commitment to not moving forward with a monolithic building, that we are really looking at trying to ensure that we have some connectivity and are not at all a walled off development from our surrounding community. In terms of where we are in our 5-step process in order to get us to a successful formal agreement and site plan in September, we are now ending what we're calling our site planning and analysis phase. By the end of this month, we should be wrapping that up. Our idea is to take all of the feedback and information that we received from each of you in all of our conversations, your city and CRA team, as well as the community from last night's virtual call, and really hunker down over the next couple of weeks to be able to come up with a sample scenario for which the community can respond to. We plan to host an in-person community charrette in partnership with the CRA at the Hatch in late May, at which time we'll be able to go over an actual site plan, draft site plan, get some feedback, and from there we'll take that and hopefully create the final version that would be in a position, or that would be, you know, well cooked enough to be able to present to this body for discussion and ultimately work through some P3 term negotiations with your team, with the ultimate goal, of course, of in September of hopefully having that well-cooked and all agreed upon site plan and formal agreements. Again, I want to encourage anyone who is not following us at www.wmoda loves Lake Worth Beach. Please do so to get updates about the project. And you can utilize our QR code that you see on the lower right-hand side of the screen to be able to sign up for a newsletter and get updates on the project as we move through this process. And also, if you have any individual questions and potentially don't care to receive our newsletter, please also feel free to reach out to us with any questions and concerns at wmodaloveslwb@gmail.com. And that concludes my presentation. I am, of course, at the pleasure of the board for any questions.
I just have one question for you. For the people who missed the webinar last night, would it be possible for them to view it? And also, would they be able to at least have the PowerPoint information?
Yes, we have shared the video from last night's virtual meeting with your team, and I understand that the CRA staff intends to put that up on the YouTube site so that anyone who missed the meeting will be able to see it.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Anne, did you have any questions? Yes, not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, no, I didn't. I attended last night, so I got a full presentation. Thank you.
Okay, please review the minutes from the March 12th, 2024 CRA meeting. See if you have any corrections or questions or concerns. And then I'd like a motion, please.
I'll move to approve the March 12th, 2024 minutes.
I'll second that.
Could you try again?
I am so sorry. I thought I turned it off.
You're not the chairman.
It's true. She has a mind of her own, though. I'm sorry. We have a motion in a second.
Yes.
All
yeah.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We now have the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move, I'll move to approve consent. Sorry, Chair, I didn't mean to speak over you.
Can I have a second
I'll second it.
and a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. Now we are to our action agenda. The commercial facade grant request for 932 South Dixie.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Chris Bros with Lake Worth CRA. Before you, you have another
grant application for facade grant funding from CRA's grant, commercial grant program. This is for 932 South Dixie Highway. For you guys that are not familiar with the property, this has been shuttered or boarded up for quite a while, located on South Dixie Highway. Nothing has happened here, I say, for the past 10 plus years. However, in the past 2 years, Mr. Daniel Tanner purchased the building to relocate his business to the site. He's currently operating on North G Street, I believe, and he's going to relocate his business, which is construction, general contracting, and construction management business to this site. It's a 5,600 square foot building, built in 1962, and is, like I said, has sat mostly vacant for the past over 10 years. His intent, again, is to move his business and up to 16 employees to this site. To do so, he needs to completely renovate the interior and exterior of the building. He applied for the commercial grant last month. His proposal is to put over $90,000 worth of new improvements into the exterior of the property. That's not including the interior improvements, which he's also doing, but he's not applying for any interior improvement funding from the CRA, only exterior funding. On the outside, it's going to consist of mostly painting, patching, windows, lighting, electrical work, landscaping, and a lot of murals along the side of the building and along the front of the building as well. I think there's some renderings inside your packet for you to look at. The significant chunk of the project is going to consist of the murals on the building. It's going to be highly visible from Dixie Highway and I believe that's 9th Avenue South, or maybe 10th Avenue South, because the property is located on the corner of both those streets. As I said, he expects to spend over $90,000 just in the exterior improvements alone. He's requesting just a little over $44,000 from the CRA's commercial grant program for facade improvements. And he's here to answer any questions from the board.
Mr. Tanner, please come on up.
Good evening, Daniel Tanner, Lake Worth Beach. Any questions?
No question. I just appreciate you investing in our properties here.
Have you been able to see some of the renderings that we did?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
I think if you're driving up that south end of Dixie Highway, it's going to really stand out and change it from very concrete and white and gray to colorful and welcoming. And a friend of mine and local artist, Sammy Mikula, is willing to do the.
Wow, you're going top notch.
Yeah, so it's going to look really cool. It's 3-dimensional wave scene on the side of the building, so really excited about it.
Hopefully it gets hit by fewer cars.
I'm putting lots of trees in the front, so hopefully that deter.
Right.
Those buttonwoods will keep out any car or truck.
And decorative rocks, like a big boulder.
A big boulder, yeah.
It's only been hit twice since I've owned it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I had an opportunity to drive by after reviewing the grant request, and that building has been sitting in that condition for so long that I applaud the initiative in wanting to take on that kind of project, and it'll certainly improve the appearance of South Dixie.
So we can have a big party and we'll invite everybody and come inside and check it out. You can tell your friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no real questions, but just to say too, I'm really happy about all of the native landscaping, and you've chosen well, so looks great. I'm looking forward to seeing these filled in because I think this is the blank slate that Sam is going to work on. Good stuff. And good to see you again too, by the way.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
This time, do we have a motion? Or
Madam
recommendation?
Chair, you want to see if Ms. Fairfax has any questions?
Yes. Ms. Fairfax, do you have any questions for the gentleman?
No, just looks like a good project.
Chairman, I'll move to approve a funding amount not to exceed $44,010.37 in reimbursable matching funds from the Commercial Facade Grant Program for the parcel at 932 South Dixie.
And I'll second that.
And all those in favor?
Public
Aye.
comment?
Aye.
Public comment.
Oh, I always do that. It's not that I don't appreciate your comments. Does anyone have any public comments? Okay, time to vote.
Aye.
All those in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we're gonna have action agenda, the purchase of city property at 304 South F Street.
Technical difficulties. Joan Oliva, CRA Director, in a recent review of city-owned properties by the city, they came up with a list of properties that were surplus. Included in this list was 304 South F Street, which quite honestly, I've been eyeing for a while. It's a relatively decent-sized lot. It's about a third of an acre, and it is along F Street, right in front of the Ben Zeiton Center. So I've always thought it would be a really nice place to put some affordable artist housing. This will join the other 6 properties that the board has approved we purchased over the last few months. So we'll have 7 properties throughout the city that we will be putting in affordable housing. So tonight we are asking the board to please allow us to move forward with the purchase of the city property at 304 South F Street to be used for affordable housing.
And do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the CRA board approve the purchase of 304 South F Street and authorize staff to select a partner who can build several units on the property.
And David Tulsa's board attorney, and included in that motion is authorizing the chair and vice chair to sign any documents necessary to close on the property.
So David, we'll just add what you said to that motion.
Thank you.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
And all those in favor?
Nope.
Public
Aye.
comment,
Aye.
Oops.
public comment.
I'm not gonna hit you.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Does anyone like to make a public comment?
Hi, oh, that's really loud. Evelyn, Urcuyo, 15 South Coffee. I don't know if I have to say my address, but, in terms of purchasing, property like this for several units, I was just curious if we can open up the dialogue in terms of not just rentals, but also, give the people the opportunity to purchase. So just wanted to put that into the discussion, not for this particular project, just in general, but.
We'll answer that.
Well, I mean, I'll answer it. In general, working with Habitat, Community Land Trust, and community partners. 2 of our partners, Habitat for Humanity and the Community Land Trust, only do for sale housing. So the majority of our homes moving forward and in the past have been for sale. We've only so far, I think, have done 1 rental project this past year, and that was off of B Street.
Have any questions for discussion?
And Fairfax.
And did you have any questions or would you like to comment for discussion?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
You have a comment? Okay. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Passed unanimously. Thank you.
Yay.
Okay. Now we are to the Executive Director's Employment Contract. I brought this issue before the board. I am going to read why. The Executive Director's contract was originally executed in December 2007 and renewed several times in 2016, 2020, and 2022. Exhibit A. The previous contract expires this August. However, due to recent circumstances, the board may choose to renew the contract now. A new contract with some additional changes to the deferred compensation section hasn't been included or as Exhibit B. The new contract term would expire in August 2028. My recommendation, the board may choose to sign the third amendment to the Executive Director's employment contract or continue with the contract already in place. I am going to ask that we do things a little differently tonight. Normally, we certainly will have a motion. So can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the board choose to sign the third amendment to the executive director's employment contract or continue with the contract, which is already in place.
And
There, Madam Chair, currently there's no number in there.
Right.
I know. And,
And although I
Thank-
love you all, I'm not working for free. So I don't know, perhaps you want to
and
make
when
a
I,
motion after public comment? That's up to you.
well, when I
Or-
looked at, let me digress. I'm sorry. The reason that we're here tonight to discuss this contract is because she has received a very generous offer from someone else who is trying to steal her away. My goal is to make sure that she stays and continues the work that she has done for this city. And so that's why I brought it forward. And if I had to, rather than add a figure to it, I would probably add a percentage to it. And I am very comfortable with 7%. And I would ask her, would she humbly accept that 7%? Because we're not meeting her offer that she has on the table. And there is also some compensation as to an increase that we could put into her 401k, that's also a separate issue. But that's where we are. And I need a motion and I need a second
And-
so that then I can,
And if I might, Madam Chair, just for the record, it's my understanding that 7% would result in the annual salary as provided for in this third amendment commencing April 10th would be $239,000.
Mhm.
So that would be, if you want to make a motion to approve the third amendment, that would be included in that motion.
I can't make the motion, guys. I'm waiting on the motion from you all.
So do we,
So,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
So I think it'd be, I have a different number in my head. And so I'm wondering if we could take public comment before the motion in this circumstance, because I'd really like to gauge community support here if that's possible.
I was going to have the public comment from the community to be after the motion in the second, only because I was advised that then they'd know what they were talking
Okay.
about. But I am very comfortable with having public comment at this time, because ultimately, whether we do it after or before the motion, we're going to listen to what you all have to say. So if you're comfortable with public comment being now, we certainly can do that. Does that work? Does that work for the board?
It does. I actually had a question, and not to put Joan on the spot, but here goes. So, and I know you don't have to disclose, but it's for us right now. I think it's like, I'll just say personally, I would love to keep you on at any cost. So that's not an issue, but when we're coming up with these kind of like numbers, rather than just pulling something out of thin air, is there a way that you can give us kind of a ballpark for what this offer would be over
So,
you?
yeah, so the offer was not voted on yet. So I don't want you to think that it's already written down in some kind of agreement, but we were talking in the 240s.
And is that straight salary? That's with benefits as well, or?
Well, I don't actually take medical benefits from the city, so it's just salary.
Okay, thanks.
At this time, we're going to open it up for public comment. If you would like to make a comment, I'll get you next.
Just.
Please give your name and address
3 minutes to.
in 3 minutes.
Yes, my name is Kevis Jones. My address is 2500 Springdale Boulevard, Lake Worth, Florida. 33461 address. I have some issues that I want to present to you. Number one, when are you guys going to finish that road by in front of the college? It's still have been worked on. I know the bridge is taking a little longer than I expected, but so that's my first question.
Sir, Hi, Jonah
Yes.
Leva, director here. Hi. Actually, the road that you're talking about, I believe is Congress by Palm Beach State. Yeah,
Yes.
that's not in the city of Lake Worth Beach. Our boundaries end just after the I-95 overpass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my question is, when is it's gonna be, all finished?
That, sir, I do not know, but I could contact FDOT and try to find out for you if you want to leave me your number or your email address or something.
Okay, I'll give you my number.
Okay.
Yes. And my second questions that you guys put up surveillance cameras? Cause at nighttime, it's a lot of females be coming out late nights, 2 and 3 in the morning. And they are presenting themselves to men. And it has been a problem for many, many years. And I brought this issue up before, but nobody haven't done anything about it. So that's my concern.
Sir, again, Joan Oliva, Lake Worth CRA
Yes.
Director. This is the Community Redevelopment Agency, and we're in
Yes.
charge of redeveloping the city.
Mhm.
Your question seems to be more geared towards the city itself. So I can look into the camera issue as well and get back to you on that if you like.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And I would invite you to go to the next city commission meeting, and they have public comment on non-agenda items. And you just come here, fill out that blue card, and you can get up and you can tell them anything that you want, as long as you only last 3 minutes.
So when is the next meeting?
They're the first and the third Tuesday of the month.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
It was nice talking with you.
Thanks for
Yes.
coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Sarah Maliga, Lake Worth Beach City Commissioner, resident and advocate for the CRA. I also am the CRA liaison currently for the City Commissioner, which has been my pleasure. When you did your review of Joan a couple months ago, I came before you and stated my case that many residents in the city of Lake Worth Beach have no idea how impactful the CRA is. From your volunteering as a board member to the limited staff and the work that Joan does and the millions of dollars and opportunities that are brought into this city. And short of selling my wedding ring, I would put us up to do whatever it takes to keep Joan here. Because keeping Joan here is not only good for the city, it's good for her staff, it's good for the commission, it's good for the board, it's a win. And I heard your number, Madam Chair. I always think about COLA. I think about the cost of stuff. And if we really want to become, we know who she's going up against, or who we're up against at this point. So I would think that we should look a little bit broader and possibly a longer term on the contract than just 1 year, and make a commitment to Joan as much as she's made to this city. Because Joan has been very committed to this city, and the opportunities that we have right now are not because we as a city went out and knocked on doors. Every opportunity that has been huge and impactful and financially impactful and life-changing for the city has come through the doors of the CRA and through Joan. So you have my full support as your commissioner, the liaison for the CRA, as somebody who is a big advocate to do whatever it takes for us to be financially responsible. But that, in my opinion, means keeping Joan here. Thank you.
And to note, the new contract would expire August 2028. So.
Good afternoon. Good to see everyone. Sarah pretty much has said it all. I'm not going to go on and on about it, but Joan Oliva is, and when I first got elected a few years ago, we had conversations, we had differences. I didn't know enough to know how things worked. And in the past 3 years, working with her has been a joy. She's bringing wonderful things to the city. I fully support whatever we can do to keep Joan. And again, I just echo what Sarah said. Please, Boynton Beach. I mean, nice town, but really, who could she would miss the excitement, the challenge of Lake Worth Beach. But I hope she stays with us and thank you very much. I thought I said I did. My name is Betty Resch. I'm your current mayor and long-term resident. Thank you.
Evening. Erin Allen, 208 South Lakeside Drive. So Boynton Beach wants Joan because Boynton Beach is a progressive town and they are forward thinking and they want somebody like that to implement their vision for their city. They don't have a city. They're trying to create a city. Okay. Lake Worth Beach already has the city and Joan is invaluable. And I would just say to you, do whatever it takes to keep her here. She's been here a long time. She's committed herself to the city. I'm sure there are other things that she wants to do before her tenure is up, and she deserves it. She's done a lot for this city. So do whatever you have to do to keep her.
Thank you.
Elivia Serrano, 413 North L Street. As a citizen of Lake Worth Beach, I am very excited to experience with you the momentum that is being demonstrated right now with the various projects that have been come forward because of the CRA. I think at this juncture, it would be extremely disruptive. And my fear would be that we would lose that momentum. We have an excellent CRA executive director, nationally recognized, award-winning. I would be foolish not to do what we need to do to retain her here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mimi May, 167 Yale, citizen as well as newly elected city commissioner. I hope we're preaching to the choir here. However, I do want to say that if we lost Joan, we would not only lose her as a person, we would lose all of the connections that she has. Everything that she's worked for, the relationships that she has built. As we've seen with other employees that we've lost, those relationships go with the people. It's not like they say, oh, no, you have to stay here. I'm going over here. You know, we lose all the relationships and whatever it costs, we need to pay that because whatever it is, it's the relationships that she has are invaluable. And we need them here. We need to grow this city. You know, I was listening to the Planning and Zoning Board the other night when William said that our city here has done 200 to 250 units of affordable housing, which is more than the rest of Palm Beach County combined, which means Joan's done that. And we need to keep her here and whatever it takes until the CRA sunsets or whatever happens with it, but we can't lose you, Joan. I just got here. I haven't even had a second to work with her yet. So, you know, even if it's just for me, keep her. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Come on. No, it's all about me.
Bo Allen. I'm not tripping over purses and whatever's going on here. I live over on South Lakeside. Like my wife said, they're after her because she's worth it. They're poaching her because she's worth it. You know, they came to steal her because she's worth it. And if they're offering her 240 something, she should be offered 260. Let's make a statement and tell her that we want her to stay. And let's give her not just the minimum, but give her a little extra so we don't have any more of these conversations. So when Palm Springs wants to get her or whoever else wants to try to steal our employees and people that work for us, just let's commensurate her for the work that she's done. Please.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Velez, G. How well will a plant grow if you keep digging it up? Flower, tree, it'll never blossom, it'll never bear fruit. Well, it'll stall it and prolong it. Every tub has to sit on its own bottom. If you keep changing it around, why?
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Hello again, Evelyn Urguyo, 15 South Gulfview. So I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. Joan, I love the fact that you have been here for over a decade now. I love the fact that the CRA has been doing so many great programs to Lake Worth Beach. I actually myself came to visit in 2016 just as a tourist and decided to make this my home. Hence why I'm here attending these meetings as a young 35-year-old. A lot of us aren't here, right? But I just want to make sure that not only is, the dollar amount involved, but also, are you happy here? You're getting public now that is actually finally starting to get well educated in terms of the programs that you have started and want to keep moving forward. So I just want to make sure that we kind of also have that open dialogue of why is she even considering leaving Lake Worth Beach? I personally, as a young local realtor, I do that just so it gives me the freedom financially and just time-wise to work towards and volunteer on projects like this. So me personally, I know how money is really important, especially as a first-generation Hispanic. I get it. But I also want to just put it out there that there are people that value you in this city. I definitely am one of them. I want to, like I said, set deep roots in Lake Worth Beach, and the CRA has definitely opened my eyes in terms of how much we can actually do to a city, for a city. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that, and I hope that we can move forward with her. And thank you.
Thank you.
Peggy Fisher, North A Street, Lake Worth Beach. Everyone said exactly what I would say about Joan and the impact she's had on this city. Any of us can see it. I grew up here. I was born in West Palm Beach. I've been through Lake Worth all my life. I've lived here. I've had family members who've lived here for 30 years. And the change and the things that Joan has brought forward to benefit and grow and move our city forward are enormous. I mean, one was just shown tonight, WMODA. We have that opportunity because Joan worked on that and talked to them and showed them the city. And that is invaluable. And I concur with Bo Allen. Let's make a statement. Let's say to other cities, but also to Joan, how much we value her and all the work and the time and the effort that she has and her staff have put into this city. Sometimes not under the most pleasant of situations, but hopefully that will change going forward. And we do value her. A great many of us do, and we can see the impact. And I live in Tropical Ridge, where I see a lot of the housing that the CRA has brought forward and added to our city. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Now we are to a motion and a second, and then we'll have some discussion.
So do you want to make a motion? I'm happy to if you.
I wanted to screw around with the agreement a little bit. Can I?
Oh, my goodness.
That's the lawyer.
It's a legal term. It's a legal term. Yes.
I like the agreement. I agree with what a lot of people have said. I'm happy to show my work on this. I appreciate the 7% and the fiscal responsibility. I'd like to do a little better than that. I'd propose. I kind of want to go in higher than 0.2. Can we afford you at like 250? Is there room in the budget?
So let's look at it this way. Can I,
Oh,
can
I
we
have
talk about
one
it?
more thought on this.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to increase the escalation in 3B from 3% to 6%. I'm done.
Okay, you are.
What you want to make?
So that, so in my business, so I'm in public service and I'm a director as well. And in Palm Beach County, municipalities, counties, Florida Power and Light, everyone is taking everyone from everybody else, right? That is happening a lot. And I know Joan didn't go knocking on doors or anything like that. They knocked on her doors, and that's happening everywhere. And so it is a rampant debate and bidding war for really good talent in Palm Beach County. And that's what we have here. We have really good talent. Because of and we heard in public comment, a long-term public servant builds a network, they build experience, they know how to navigate government, and some of them know how to do it extremely well, like Joan. And that doesn't come easily. And that's why everyone's taking everyone else. And I'm losing staff to other counties and municipalities, like our Beach is losing staff. So it's a food fight out there. And so I am definitely in the camp of making a statement, keeping Joan, showing that we recognize her value here in the city. And so I was coming prepared at 250 as well. And here's how I look at it. Heck, on the agenda earlier today, we talked about a $23 million grant that Joan worked on getting for us, right? And so an extra 30 or whatever thousand a year, you're getting return on investment, right, with that network. And so it is something that we need to absolutely do. I would be willing at 255. I don't know about the COLA piece. That's, last year 6% was perfectly fine. I don't know what it will be in 2027. And so I do know we need COLAs, but it needs to be personally on a market rate. So I'm a little uncomfortable setting one that far into the future. But I came prepared at 250, but hearing public comment and knowing that 30,000 extra a year is a drop in the bucket compared to what she brings back, I'm good at 255.
Not to be Solomonic here, but I think obviously, what I said earlier is I'd love to keep Joan at any cost. So the money is not the issue. So I think we just need to agree right now. So I also had 250 in my mind because I think we're all mind readers here, even though we don't talk, which is a good thing, because we do have sunshine. So yeah, 250 is fine. I actually sort of like your recommendation of less than 6%, knowing that it would go up with CPI. I think last time CPI was 3.2, something 9.32. Something to that effect. I think it's come down this time.
It has,
so,
yeah.
I'm fine with no less than 6% too at 250, but I'm also willing to negotiate up. I think we have Anne probably still to remain.
1 second. Anne, do you have a comment regarding this issue?
I was very heartened to hear the public weigh in. Because I think in the past, it's a good indication that the CRA is doing good public outreach and job in getting recognized for the good work that's being done, and that credit is being given where credit is due. I too support whatever figure the board settles on, and also we should ask Joan maybe if we make an offer. It's quite awkward to do this in the sunshine, I acknowledge, but I think Joan's probably used to it by now. If we could ask her if that I would say 255 would be good. If that would be acceptable to her. We don't want to lose her. She has great institutional memory. She's been a terrific partner certainly with me, and reaches out at the opportune time to come up with great ideas and initiatives. So, yeah, I wouldn't know what her replacement could or would look like. I think it would be difficult, and we'd probably be ending up spending as much or more for her caliber of talent in an unknown situation. So I think it's a great investment. We all like Joan. We want to keep her. And I'm so glad that the public feels that way too, because she works so tirelessly, as does her staff, kind of, in the background. And she's quiet. She's not someone who's toots her own horn. So I'm glad to see that people recognize her quiet effectiveness. That's it.
When I first heard that Joan had received an offer, I was brought to tears because it's rare that you get someone who cares about your city as much as you do. And not only do we have the Gulfstream, Village Flats, WMODA, affordable housing, a 55 and over community coming to Lake Worth, they're all coming because of Joan and her staff's work. And one of the things that you probably don't know is she has built this board. The people that you see here, we didn't come here looking as nice as we do today. She has worked with me for several years to say, no, not only this is how you do it, but I'd like you to think about this, or I'd like you to ask that. And that's what makes the board work. We're all very different and we never talk outside of this meeting. But she has taught us to be professional and to put you first. I didn't have a thought not to ask for your public comment before I gave mine, because your comment is why we're here. And for 100% of everyone who came tonight to speak, they said, do what you need to do. And I want you to know that we're going to listen, because that's what this board does. You know, you may not get it at other boards, but you do get it here. And we may not always agree, but I will always listen. And so thank you very much for your participation. It has been invaluable. And I'm sure that Joan is so surprised. And when I came in at 7%, I said, what would be the least amount you could take? So that's my 7%. And and that least amount was the least amount that she'd be willing to talk about. So I knew that if I told you 7%, you'd be mad at me and you want to give her more. So I am very happy.
Well played.
Yes,
Good
yes.
strategy.
So I just wanted it to move forward because I do want to keep her. Okay, and I'd like a motion in a second.
May I add?
Yes, you can.
So in the, I don't have kids, but in the vein of if you give a mouse a cookie, I now want 255,000 and my 6% minimum escalation. And I want to nod toward the staff stability of the CRA. I've been serving on this board for years, and you all have been consistent. And the staff hasn't changed 18 times. It's been one strong staff doing a lot of things. To that, let's talk about the procurement of grants. I mean, there's been a ton of money that has come into the city, and you can see the dividends. If you drive the neighborhoods where the neighborhood stabilization projects have taken place, you can see the surrounding houses improve on almost a minute by minute basis. I mean, it's absolutely wild. The WMODA, incredible opportunity. If we can land that, that would be such a coup, and that will be the work of Joan that has both brought us the opportunity and will shepherd it through to completion. We just saw the Path to College opening. That's also an incredible amenity to the city. It's going to be fantastic for the kids. I mean, if we get one more kid going to college as a result of their presence here, we've done our jobs. I mean, I want all the kids, but you know, if we make a big difference to one, that's huge. So that's where I'm at. And I think with respect to my 6% escalator, minimum escalator, I manage my office, and keeping and finding good talent is difficult. And people are coming in and they're asking for these 10% guaranteed sort of escalations or 6% guaranteed escalations. So I don't necessarily want to tie it to the minimum. I want Joan to know that we value her and we value her into the future. and are making a promise to go beyond the minimum.
That's our motion. Can I get a second?
Sorry, that was a long motion.
Well, that was a motion.
Yeah, there's a motion in there.
All right.
255, 255 and 6% amendment to the contract, and then I would agree to accept the third amendment.
Well, I'm getting ready to second that emotion, and I'll say second that motion.
And I'm sorry, did you have a comment that you'd like to make at this time?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Now we have a motion and a second, and we've had public comment. I need all those in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Yeah, Joan, come on, man.
It's Ms. Fairfax just confirming is your vote in the affirmative?
Yes, it is.
All right, motion passes unanimously.
She's.
Where's the Prosecco?
And now we're to the executive director's report.
First and foremost, I want to say I'm incredibly humbled and blessed to have such a fantastic board, a truly fantastic staff. Thank you for all your dedication and your loyalty over the years. I could not do half of what I do without them. The boards over the years have been really wonderful, and I hope you re-up when your time is up here soon, because I definitely want to keep working with you and working with the board. And thank you to the public. Thank you so much for coming tonight and for getting up and speaking. I can't tell you how much that means to me after so many years of almost being taken over by the city commission and wondering what my future was and what the future was for my staff, and knowing how much of our hearts that we put into this job every day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Does that mean you're staying?
You're not giving me much of a choice.
No.
I'm going to move on with my report. First, I just want to say thank you so much to Habitat for the Women's Build Day. It was a huge success. Not only did we build a number of new homes for people in the community, including a number of veterans, but I think it was 500 women in total came out. And not only did we, like I said, dedicate new homes, but we also went around the neighborhood and put new landscaping in and did painting and really tried to, as they say, brush the neighborhood with kindness. And it was definitely appreciated. So thank you so much to Carla, Ann, and Donna. Also to Mimi, who was out there sweating her butt off. I have some more good news on top of the $500,000 that we received for affordable housing from Congresswoman Frankel. The Community Land Trust has put in a application for bond money from the county for $1.6 million to build the duplexes and triplexes that they are doing on our lots. So fingers crossed, and I'll let you know how that turns out. We also have a ribbon cutting for the 3 new homes on April 24th at 10 a.m. and those are over on E Street. We are also planning an education, health, and wellness expo on May 18th, working to try to get some trees to give away. We have children's bicycle helmets left over from our other event that we had. And we thought we'd invite some other nonprofits and some other wellness folks to come over to Hatch and over on the weekend and just kind of have a big party there. Over at Hatch, there's the Gonzalez and Gurr exhibit, and it is there through April 18th. They just had their opening the other night. They're open tonight from 7 to 9 for sip and paint. So I encourage you all to go over there and take a look. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. As mentioned a little bit earlier, we're going to put the MOTA presentation with the full audio up on our YouTube page. Hopefully it'll be up there tonight, if not up tomorrow. It's also will be on our Facebook page so people can link to it. It's really important that everybody knows and spreads the word about this opportunity that we were given. I really feel like it's a game changer for us, and it really kind of solidifies arts and culture, and that Lake Worth is the place to be in order to experience all of that. And finally, a static dance event is happening at the Hatch, April 20th. Please join us for that. And again, I just want to take a few moments and thanks my staff. For those of you who are here, for those of you who may be listening, to Mona, Emily, Susan, and Chris, thank you so much for all your hard work and dedication. And I truly appreciate you. Thank you.
It is now time for board member comments. Anne, we'll start with you. You have any board member comments?
Well, it sounds like Joan's going to stay. Well, that's great news for everybody. We can keep rolling with all of the great initiatives that we're on board with. I had a lot of fun at the Habitat for Humanity Women Build or thing. That was fun. And I think that's it.
Okay, Donna?
Yeah, I'll second that. Also, I had a great time up on the roof. I thought I was going to be scared out of my wits, but Mimi May just led the way. She said, "You can do it." And it was like kind of my wrist killed me at a certain point, but that's okay. Just persisted. Anyway, I'm really happy about the results of tonight's meeting. Look forward to looking at the WMOTA video on YouTube page. And really appreciate Renee's presentation to the board tonight. Yeah, good things are happening to the city, and I think we're doing a wonderful job here, all of us together. I think it's my pleasure to be volunteering on this board and having such great results. Joan, I hope we made you happy. I was going to say that in my first opening about this. What is it going to take to have you stay? But I hope this was it. So. Congratulations, Joan. Congratulations to all of us. Congratulations to you guys. Thank you.
Good meeting. We have a lot of very cool things happening. I'm psyched about the 932 South Dixie Highway. Excited to drive down that stretch of highway and not see a boarded up building. I know it won't be immediate, but if you could do it like tomorrow, that would just be really swell. Joan, I hope we've enticed you to stay. I might be tempted to show up at the Boynton Beach meetings and, public comment man. So anyway, fantastic meeting. Thank you all for coming. Your support is humongous. And the fact that there is always public that comes out when we do Joan's contract amendments, I think speaks to her leadership in the city.
True.
Yep. Another meeting, another acquisition for affordable housing. That's just what's happening at the CRA. It's incredible work. Having gone through the L&M redevelopment the wrong way, I really want to express my appreciation to WMOTA for how they're approaching this redevelopment. The engagement's fantastic, and I applaud you for all the effort you're doing to really understand the city. And then from one public servant to another, I remember 30 years, well, I'm not going to say my age here, but many years ago when I was so grateful to get 30,000 a year, and now we're talking about these ridiculous numbers. It's awkward and weird, but I understand, Joan, you got to think about it, and we'll look forward to your meditation on that. So, but it's a great meeting. Thank you, Chairman. You did swell.
I have a request. We are going to have a charrette in May for WMOTA. I'm asking that all of our partners fill the room. It's easy for the 15 people who want to say no to get up and drown out all the other voices in the city because a lot of us are silent. We're going to have to pack the room and say how we feel. It's not enough for you to sit at home and say, I think that's a great project. I need boots on the ground. I need people in the room. So when that charrette comes up and we ask you to come, and I will be calling you, I'm gonna say, I need you. It's not an option because they can go anywhere. They have given us the honor partly because of Joan and her staff to say they'll give us 6 months and we'll get first rights. That's not etched in stone. So I don't want to put up roadblocks in front of them to make them even second guess coming to our city. So when that charrette comes up, I want everybody to be there. That's all I ask. Thank you. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for zooming me in.